Hi there, this is Gordon with Let's Go Travel Tips, and today I would like to share some information with you. Any of you who may travel with the CPAP machine that I have found is very useful. In fact, what I'm really going to tell you about is a brand new CPAP machine that I just purchased, which is a travel CPAP. Maybe this is going to sound like an advertisement, but it's not an advertisement per se. It's just my own personal experience. And I don't work for a medical equipment company, but I have been very pleased with my new CPAP machine. And so I just wanted to tell you about it from my own experience. So, thank you for joining me today. I'm going to tell you about, I'm going to start by telling you about my current home CPAP machine. It's about 8 to 10 years old. It's an I have to read this here. It's a ResMed AirSense 10. And it's about 10 inches by 4.5 inches by 6 inches big. Sits on my bedside. Most of you probably have a similar machine or have seen one, those of you that have a CPAP machine. And it weighs just under 3 pounds. I travel with it. I have taken it around the world. It has been with me to every place that we have been on a cruise ship. Anytime I travel to visit family, fly back east to Boston, drive to Arizona, go to California when I used to go visit my parents. I have my CPAP with me all the time because I have to have that therapy because of my sleep apnea. Many of you are with the same situation, and so and it includes the humidifier, which keeps you from drying out. You have to make sure that you've got water for it. Distilled water is what is recommended. I cheat quite a bit and don't use this distilled water all the time. Then you have to worry about the cording on it, getting the power over to it, and it's a little big for the bedside on the cruise ships I've been on. When I visited people, I've got to make sure I've got a location for it and so on. So that's my experience currently with the CPAP. Last month, I bought a new CPAP machine. Now, I had to pay for this myself because, and I'll get into that later, because it's a travel CPAP and my insurance would not cover a second CPAP machine. I have purchased the ResMed Air Mini. This is the smallest portable CPAP on the market today. You can see comparable in size to a smartphone. A little bit thicker, of course, but really it's 3 inches, 3.5 inches by 5.5 inches by 2 inches. And it weighs less than a pound. In fact, it weighs just over a half a pound. This weighs 10 ounces. And I used it last week when we went to Arizona, and I was so impressed with it. The original purchase price on this was about $900. I've seen them on the internet anywhere between $900 to $1,200. It only included this machine as well as the power supply. It did not include a mask or a hose. It includes an air filter that goes in the side of this right here, and it includes this handy little bag. All that for the $900. Then for about another $250, I got a special mask that is designed for this CPAP. They call it a travel mask, and it includes inside of here, you can see this little filter, and this is called a Humid X, meaning no humidity, waterless humidification. And what it does is it uses your own exhaling to moisten it so that you don't dry out. And I was impressed. Like I said, we were in Arizona, and Arizona is a dry state. And I was impressed that I did not get as dried out as I might have otherwise. We also found that we were there during monsoon season, so it was slightly more humid than normal, but you're not talking real humid like what you'd find in the Midwest, or as humid as you'd find on a cruise ship. So I was very impressed with that. So like I said, so about $250, I got this hose and this mask. So all told, I'm out about $1,200, and I am more than happy with that amount of money. What I found as I used it is that I was able to just, as I put this into my backpack, as I started to get ready to travel, the wow factor of its size just kind of overwhelmed me. It was just so much fun to realize that this was all I needed. And yes, I've gone with the previous hose and a mask before, which I keep in a Ziploc as I travel, so that really hadn't changed much, but it just made it so much easier to only have this much of equipment, and I was very impressed. You'll notice that it's a long cord. It's 6 feet long, okay? You've seen us talk about our our travel cord, power cord. This works perfectly on here. You still don't block off the other two locations. So that worked out just fine because I had other items still plugged into there that we needed. So that worked out just fine. If you need something longer, just get yourself a longer, not a surge protector, just a power strip, okay? But again, so this portion is 6 feet long, which works out quite well. And this is much smaller to fit on the bedside when you're on a ship or in a hotel or anywhere else. So I was very, very pleased with that. Now, before I tell you a little bit more, I'd like to invite any of you who have not subscribed to our channel to go ahead and subscribe. Go ahead and click that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and definitely, if you like this video and if it helps you, give it a thumbs up. That will tell others, tell YouTube to tell others about this video so that it will help them as they're trying to travel with medical equipment. Now, a couple other things. Like I mentioned, there's no need for a humidifier, so there's no worry about having to find water. Again, I never felt like it was too dry as I was breathing. Now, here's a special little thing that my sweetheart has done for me. She'll take my old t-shirts and from a portion of it, make me a hat. You may notice that I don't have much hair, and so this really helps. I put this on top. It's a skull cap, basically, just a thin layer of, like I said, old t-shirt material, and I put that on, and then I put the mask on over it, and so it keeps my head from sweating and so on with the mask and so on. A couple other things, though. It has a different connector. So on this hose and on the mask, so that's different connector than maybe a standard mask, and that's okay on this end. On the other end, it has a special connector that plugs in and joins it here rather than just a standard connector. So what I have found is I went on Amazon. This is the hose for my standard CPAP. And if I want to, I can use this at home with my standard CPAP mask, or I could use this mask all the time if I really want to. But I'm not worried about that. The part I'm worried about is when I am home. If you recall, we live in Utah. Utah, where we are, is a high elevation, about 4,500 feet above sea level. Well, as you know, the air is thinner here. So there is actually less oxygen in the air when you are at that elevation. So I am prescribed O2, an oxygen concentrator, at night when I'm sleeping. And so on my CPAP upstairs, I have a connector that the air hose, the oxygen comes into the side of it that then pumps it in so that my O2 level stays up during the night. So this connection will not fit on this one. So I found on Amazon another connector that will allow me to then plug in my oxygen concentrator into the side of this, which then allows me to take the standard CPAP hose, if I would like, and connect it onto here as well. So there's a bunch of different options for you that if you want to continue to use your normal hose and mask, or if you have to, like me, have oxygen pumped into it, that's a possibility. Now, I don't worry about oxygen when I travel because I'm at sea level on a cruise, and I watch my oxygen level, and it's not of any consequence. I don't need to worry about it dipping below like it would at this higher elevation. But I do have that capability if I need to. Now, how do I know that my air doesn't go to, my oxygen level doesn't go? Well, I have an Apple Watch. This Apple Watch version 6 has an oximeter built into it. So at night, it monitors, I wear my watch all night long, it monitors my oxygen level. About every hour, it will take a reading, and I can watch that. This is by no means durable medical equipment. It is not something that you would need, that you would be allowed to be used by a doctor or prescribed. But it is good enough that it monitors my O2. So I can watch and see. And when I have this running, and when I'm at sea level, and I use my CPAP, my O2 is similar to, in reading, to what I have when I'm at home using oxygen at night at the 4,500 foot elevation. Just something to know. With this ResMed CPAP, there is an app that comes with it. It allows you to turn it on simply by plugging it in, putting it on your face, and start to breathe. It has auto sense, auto start. But you can also start it from your phone, push the button, as well as push the button on here. So there's a Bluetooth connection for that. You can also, from that app, it kind of gives you a reading of what's going on with your breathing, if the mask has not a good seal, if there's any incidences during the evening while you sleep. It does not integrate into the Apple Health app, but that's not particularly necessary. And you can watch the app and read it every morning to see what it's telling you. The other thing I found is I do use the Health app quite a bit, but I found a couple of other sleeping apps that feed in information, again, from my watch as I sleep into the phone so that it gets to know my oxygen level, my amount of sleeplessness or restlessness while I sleep, tells me how long I've slept, mostly 7.5 hours, and in the middle, maybe I woke up or something. So it just helps you. It gives you the information to let you know how it is that you're sleeping, how your oxygen is going, your restlessness, and so on. And if you need to talk to your doctor about it, go ahead. That lets them know how well you're doing. So I talked about the differences with the little connectors and the hose. It all works out for me. If you have any questions on this, feel free to put them in the comments below. Again, I don't work for a medical equipment company. I just felt that this was helpful to let you know what it is that I do when I travel with the CPAP, now with my new CPAP, and how much this has helped me, because now there's less for me to worry about carrying with me. Just a nice small 10.5 ounce piece of equipment versus the 2.5 to 3 pound CPAP that I used to have. I hope this has been helpful to you. Again, if it has been, go ahead and hit that subscribe, hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up, and let other people know that you liked it. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comments below. I'll try to put a few links to a few of the items that I've shown you. Again, the power strip that we use, I'll even put a link to ResMed and you can check it out. I hope this has been helpful to you. If it has, let me know. And if they have any questions, let me know. We'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Bye-bye.